Yes, you're alive. It says on the screen. We're all in good shape
yes,
and
I
alive.
can see that.
Yes. So anyway, hello, there, folks. Thank you for waiting for us. There were some issues with the camera, with the mic, and so on. There's always some issues. At
There
the
always
moment we
are.
start, yeah. And we tested this one on Thursday, and it was good. It was alright. It worked. It was like just a small caveat with the mic, but then we kind of fixed that, and now boom, it's back to that weird thing. Ooh, I can do that as well. You can see that's beautiful. Anyway, no banners. We're just trying out the new thing over here. So, but we are now live for another episode of Würfel Cast. So it's been a while. Hello, it's Ilja here.
And Kyle.
Yeah, you can see our names now. It's it's an upgrade. So this one is
In case you forgot.
yeah, this is StreamYard. It's a new program we're gonna try and use now more often. I think so, because once the Google Hangouts closed or shut down, we didn't have the broadcasting system anymore, and then we had to find another one, and then life happens and you have tight schedule and so on. So, but anyway, we're back. It's all about the Halloween games. The Halloween's coming up, so.
No, really?
But we're gonna, yeah. But we're gonna talk about different stuff. We're gonna talk about our, usual stuff like recent plays and our desired plays and so on. We're gonna go through all of that usual stuff. So, but then we're gonna end up with top 10 Halloween games. We're gonna talk about this category a little bit later. But without further ado, let's just start with this episode, because it's been like 3 months since the last one. So we need to do it as good as possible. So anyway, Kyle, your recent plays, anything that you want to say? Anyone you want to show us anything?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's been so long. I've played so many wonderful, exciting games. I was at Gen Con, and then I had a massive influx of Kickstarters arrive, and it's just sort of been like third and fourth Christmas. But I think one of the games that I would talk about today is a game called Cloudspire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was on my top 10 most anticipated games for the year, and I got it, and it's huge, and I was worried about it because that game, the rules are usually complicated, but the game is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I played it and played it and played it. There's a solo campaign, then I played it with some people. I've only ever played it solo and with two. I've not played it with more than two. I'm not sure how well it would even work, but it's this game where you've got your fortress and you're building up some towers, and then your creatures, which are of course little chips, are marching across the board and trying to destroy the towers and destroy the fortress. And then you're upgrading it, and you've got your heroes, and you're moving around, and you've got different objectives you're trying to do. And there are 5 different factions in the game, and they're all very different,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just lots of fun. And it's a very tough game to teach. But once you've played for about 2 rounds, it sort of all starts to make sense. And I've really been impressed with it. It's kind of a devourer of tables, unfortunately. But other than that, it's really a lot of fun. That's Cloudspire.
That's nice. I haven't tried this one. I don't have this one, as you can imagine. So I don't know when I'm gonna try this one. Maybe once I'm in Atlanta and on the cruise. Maybe I don't know if it will be there.
Well, I know it'll be here in Atlanta. I just don't know if it's on the cruise. That's that's someone else's job.
Yeah.
And I
I
won't be
saw.
bringing mine. It's much too big.
Yeah, it sounds like that. So because I saw this one, I had it on like a wish list because I was like intrigued by the components and things and the theme and so on. So
Well,
maybe
that
we're gonna
company
try it too.
always does well with the components. It's got all the cards are
Yeah.
and the summary sheets are printed on plastic, so it's water resistant, and
Mm-hmm.
all the tiles are this that mouse pad neoprene material and heavy nice chips for all of the pieces. It's a nice production.
Yeah.
It's a bit on the expensive side, but oh well.
Yeah, true that. But all right, so it's been a while since we talked about the recent plays. So the recent plays are the plays that we had like throughout 3 months. I was looking at them, and I'm like, I haven't really played any really new games, maybe a few, but I've been going back to like kind of classics and so on. So I'm going back to games I really love and replaying them and showing them to new people. Uh, I've seen like I've invited new folks to introduce them in the board gaming world. So, but in parallel with that, I also play the Scythe campaigns, as you know, and so I finished the Scythe campaign in I think in August or September, something like that, and yeah. So, by the way, if somebody doesn't want spoilers, you just skip it like a few minutes because I'm going to talk about Scythe campaign a bit. Have you finished the Scythe campaign?
Yeah, in like one day.
Yeah, yeah. We played
I
like
mean,
2 games in one day, so but yeah, we're like we couldn't get
you
together.
know how I
It's really
play
hard.
those campaign games.
Yeah, yeah. You just play them. Just sit through all of that. But so spoilers for but I don't know. The Rise of Fenris has been out for quite some time, so I'm sorry about that, but it's just a campaign. So like I said. Anyway. So we finished the campaign. I didn't win. I didn't win. But I really like the the different modules, and now if I'm gonna play with those modules, I'm gonna play with like the mech modes and infrastructure modes because it makes you kind of boost your incomes, boost your management and things, resources um, in a shorter amount of time, which kind of increases the fun, so you can get your engine going faster, which means that you can actually do great stuff mid game, not just at the end. It's the Scythe usually is like you get your engine going near the end where you're like boom boom boom, I do this, do this, do this, do this, this, and then I have this kind of a chain. In this one, for example, I could throw out 2 mechs in like 2 turns and so on, and then yeah, with this infrastructure modules that will give you discount or give you like you don't have to pay for certain actions, and that's a huge advantage. So I like that system. I like the new factions. I played, so I discovered Vesna faction, and I played the Vesna faction throughout the mid campaign basically. And I really like Vesna because I like tactics. I like somebody gives me kind of like a puzzle I need to solve, and then with Vesna I was like, boom! I have this really cool kind of a really cool ability with the factory cards. So she can only use factory cards once, but she has few, so you have kind of like those little extra options, and also those different modes, mech modes that you install. Is basically you grab 6 and then you choose from the campaign. I bought like 6 more, so I had a big choice of different ones, or maybe not 6 more, but like 4. I had like a choice of 10 different modes, how I could customize the Vesna faction. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So I'm like, oh, there's the Fenris faction, so I need to have more defense, more against him, or like a fast movement. So because if he attacks me, I'll be done. I need to get those different, encounters and some extra bonuses really fast, and get to
Yeah.
the factory really fast and so on. So I really like the customization of your faction that you can like advance with. So Scythe, amazing game, and amazing campaign, great modules. It's we I didn't do like we're gonna do our top tens as well. I think so soon. So it would be nice to compare that and see where Scythe lands on my new top 10, because it kind of increased in
Yeah.
my
I
opinion.
really enjoyed that expansion. I thought the campaign was fine, but I like it more as sort of after the campaign, various modules that you can mix in. And some of them, I think I'll always play with that alternate conditions star track, where you have
The
the
peace
random, you
track.
just put out 10
Oh, this one. Yeah.
so that it's not, you're not working toward the same thing every game.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I like the other faction, the Fenris faction, a lot, just because I like sort of spreading the chaos and having, I need to get rid of all of these tokens, or else I'm going to have a whole bunch of negative points at the end of the game.
Yeah, I didn't like the Fenris faction. I was like, please, I'm just gonna throw it into the garbage bin because I hated Fenris faction. But maybe because
Well, I liked it.
I like Scythe as an engine building game, and because of that, like it depends on the amount of players. But with 3 players, Fenris was kind of king making, and that was good because like he just started attacking me all the time. And the last track, no, the thing is that with the Fenris, and that was a coincidence, but you randomize these different winning conditions, the star conditions, and then you put them out. I think like 4 or 5 of them were battles, so to win the battle. So, and that was the last game of campaign, and Fenris had huge advantage. It was a huge, for me, it was kind of unbalanced last game because there was no way we could outweigh the Fenris in attacks and get the stars. I tried to, but it's impossible. So Fenris is an aggressive faction that doesn't really fit into Scythe.
Well, I quite like it. I think if you're playing it again now, after the fact, when you're not working through the story, you would set up, if you're using those 10 different conditions, and you'd probably set those up and then choose the factions rather than have them kind of scripted to you like they are in the campaign. Because I don't remember it because it's been about a year, but you're sort of told which one you're using at which point during the story.
No, you can change them. You can do whatever you want. Basically,
Okay.
there are some things.
Like I said, it's been a little while, but
yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, like with Fenris, like if you customize your star track to like less battle, like balance things, then yes, it might be a nice faction.
Or just use the no battle track, right? Wasn't there one there's like one alternate track that's just no battles at all?
But then the Fenris faction is like, I don't care.
Oh, they've still got things to do.
Yeah. Anyway, so too much Scythe. Let's go to the next recent play. What you have else?
Well, my brother convinced me to go to Arkham Nights in Minneapolis at the Fantasy Flight Game Center.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that kind of sold me on that was the chance to play a mega game of The Blob That Ate Everything. And this is a module. It's a scenario for Arkham Horror, the card game. And it's a fantastically fun scenario if you like the game. I mean, if you don't like the game, it's not going to change anything. Basically, it takes that old 1950s movie, The Blob, and makes a story around it. There's a blob, and it's, well, getting on everything, eating everything. But the sort of quirk of doing it at one of these events is that we played with, I think it was a 75-player game.
Ooh.
And
like
and that really
Mafia
changes
gone
the
wrong.
way that it...
Mafia gone wrong. The Mafia, the Mafia game, the werewolf game, whatever.
Oh,
it sounds like the werewolf game gone wrong with like a ton of people and.
Well, but it works. I mean, I played a couple of their mega games. I played Arkham Horror, the new version mega game. That one wasn't very good. But I played Eldritch Horror, the 16-player game, and that worked so fantastically well. It was a lot of fun. But this Blob That Ate Everything was really... You played a 4-player game of Arkham Horror LCG, but the Blob had a shared life pool based on, it was 15 life per player in the scenario. So you kind of worked on it, and what you did to it sort of was occasionally tallied up and counted against the global goal. And so it worked really well. Unfortunately, we died very quickly after an hour and a half. And so we were done at that point, but the rest of the people kind of continued to fight the Blob, and we went off and did something else, which worked just fine because the 4 of us who were playing together, we were done. We had died, and then we sort of heard what was happening with the Blob, which eventually, of course, as you would expect, ate everything. But it's interesting because there's a card where the Blob, at certain points in the game, the Blob will eat something, and there's a chart, a 4-page chart. And the Blob can eat things like your reference card, or the light in the room, or your ability to talk for a couple of rounds. And so it does sort of that almost Mountains of Madness, which is a game I love.
Yes.
It almost does that, and sometimes it's things within the game, like your players some stats or something, and so it's changing a lot of things of how you play the game. Sometimes for a short period, sometimes for a long period, but it's sort of a nice little meta feature of the game. I had a lot of fun with it, and I like the Arkham Horror LCG anyway, but
Yeah.
it's now my second favorite scenario because of another one that I like slightly more, which is the Excelsior Hotel. But it was a very interesting experience just to play it in such a large group, which is something that I'll probably never do again. Not because it was bad, but just because when am I going to have 74 other people who want to play the Arkham Horror LCG with me?
On the cruise.
I doubt we'll find 74 people who want to play that game.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, like, if you grab just common folks who are not board gamers, like,
yeah, well,
just, whoever on the cruise.
It could be organized, right? Somebody could volunteer to run the thing, because you have to have somebody to run it, and everybody would have to bring decks and copies of the scenario. It's just not really feasible to show up on a cruise and say, who wants to play this game? Are there 72 other of you?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got it. That's nice. I like the card game LCG. I like this one. So maybe it will be fun to one day experience the mega game thing. I like not like even this one, but whatever, just to experience another werewolf.
Yeah, well, they run them at events. So like at a Gen Con type, or at this event, which was at Fantasy Flight Games, is probably kind of be your only real chance to play these super mega games.
Mm-hmm. Got it. All right. So let's go to the next one. We have another recent play from me. It's a game I really liked the few times I played it. Long time ago. So I like put it on the table with
recent game, long time ago.
Yeah, recent play. I said. I mean, like, this is Cosmogenesis, and yeah, Cosmogenesis. I got it from in 2017, I think, like something like that, or 16, 17. I think 17. Yeah, 17. So it's about like creating your planetary systems and colliding different planets. So they increase in size and decrease in size, and you create moons and things. So it sounds very scientific, and it kind of is, but it's on a lighter side. It's a mid-weight kind of action selection worker placement game. So you have those worker spots, kind of those spots you go to, you grab thing, but it restricts you as you have to go. Like, there's different sections of the boards of the central board where you put your workers, and in each section you can only put one of your workers. So basically, each round you will go through all of the sections anyway. You will grab something from every kind of a series of component. Like, you will grab an objective, you will grab a moon, you will grab an asteroid, and you will grab. The difference is what exact planet you will grab, or what exact objective you will grab. If you go there first, then you have more choices. If you go the last, then you have less choices. So basically, it's kind of worker placement, kind of an action selection. Like, the earlier you go, the more choices you get. That's the thing. Yeah, it's interesting. It's nice, but I would say I would then like to have like kind of like an expansion, to have more places to go, to kind of variability in places where I want to go. But I still like the game very much, because this one is a different theme. It's a space theme. It's a scientific theme. It works. It just works, but it doesn't overwhelm me with some really convoluted rules and things. So I like that. I like Cosmogenesis. It's something different. I just want more variability, not only through what comes up, what objectives and so on, but like the choices themselves. Where can I go? What can I do more? Like, maybe there will be like, now I'm building the planetary system plus something else. So you can also like collide like comets and asteroids to bring water and to bring life on the planets, flip them things and increase them in size, so you can create moons around them. And all objective based, so you can get the most points. I like it. I played again in a long time, so that was a nice experience. That's Cosmogenesis.
Well, I can't say anything about that one. I have not really even heard of it. Maybe I've heard of it, but I know I've not played it. So
I probably told you about that one, but I mean,
you
like,
might have. It sounds like something you've talked about before, but I know I haven't played it. So
that might be one game that I could. It's from Ludonova. I think they did the Arkham Noir, the solo game.
okay, which I also haven't played, although I did buy.
Yeah. So anyway, so they have really cool ideas, by the way, and so maybe I'll bring it to the cruise, so we can try this one.
That would be a good way to get me to play it.
Yeah, you would like it, I think. Not love
Well,
it, but you will like it. Yeah.
I'm pretty easy.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go to the next topic. We have a desired play. So it's about the game we really want to get to the table. It might be a game that's already come out, might be an older title, might be a future title that we're gonna get soon. So something like that. So what's your desired play, Kyle?
So my current desired play is a game that arrived a couple of weeks ago. It's sort of downstairs in my new game processing area, which is also known as my couch. Um, and it's called Black Rose Wars.
Okay.
And I don't know much more about it from what I can tell. I mean, my game buying process is, does it look interesting? And and it seems to be almost like adrenaline, is from what I've heard, where you're sort of running around and trying to attack each other and getting points by doing so. And you've got some wizards, and there are some large, pieces, and it looks like a fairly nice quality game. And I don't know much more about it other than that it sounds interesting. And every time I've tried to read the rules, I have, fallen asleep.
So so tell me one more time. What's the name of the game?
Ah, this is what's happening here. Black Rose Wars.
Those Wars. That one. So it's on Kickstarter. Is it? It's a new one. Yeah. Oh,
It's
the cover is
new.
nice.
I think I have. I mean, I have it here, so I know it's not on Kickstarter right now.
Oh,
Um,
okay. But probably
I
won't
heard
because it
about it
looks so nice.
somewhere from somebody, and it sounded interesting. It has a nice cover. It's this big black rose, as you can see, and it just seems like a run around and fight things game, which I tend to like.
I like this style. I like the kind of like the art and everything like that. So looks rather nice. Yeah. It's
But since it's on my desired playlist, I can't really say much more about it because I haven't played it.
maybe we'll. But have you read the rules?
No, I started reading them, but I was reading them in bed and I fell asleep.
Oh, so the rules are quite heavy. It seems so.
No, it's just when I read in bed, I usually fall asleep.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
That's
bad.
just, yeah, that's, I was just going to read them and learn to play them for the next day because Victor's here right now, so I can get lots of games played.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah. But yeah. All right,
but
all right. It looks interesting. So we're gonna see what happens. So,
yeah, I'll have to report on that one later.
but let me see. My desired play is Living Planet. And have you heard about this one?
Oh yeah, if that one is eventually coming, probably in 17 years through Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. So it doesn't show any pictures, but I mean, like, this one is. I mean, like, the Kickstarter was a long time ago. It's
A
delayed.
long
It's
time ago.
yeah, it's really delayed. I mean, like, it's this one doesn't show all the upgraded components, but it will have much more resist board and so on. So, but basically, this one, as you can see on the cover, um, living planet. You're on this planet. You are discovering those different tiles, and you are doing your production and exploration and industrialization and stock market. So you have those different goods and things where, like, you buy resources of power, something like that. I don't remember exactly how it plays anymore. I did a preview, the SM preview with Chris Bellinger. You can look at that one, but it has changed quite a bit because this artwork is an old one. There's a new artwork, like the new tiles look better because they're done by the same artist who did Archipelago, and this game is by the same designer and artist who did Archipelago, and same company. And I love Archipelago, so I now as I heard that this will be like will be on the boat and then eventually shipped to us. Now that production is done, I really want to get this game. Yeah, I mean, like the production should be done by now, and they're gonna ship it to different hubs and then and then ship it to us. So yeah, I'm really excited about this really cool kind of Archipelago style game because when I heard about this one, I realized that this kind of Archipelago plus, it's Archipelago with cooler things going on. So,
well, I'm very excited about it. It's one of those, I go through a lot of Kickstarters, as you have probably known, and it's, sometimes I do them, I back them, and then I forget about them. And this is one that, it's been so long that I've kind of forgotten about it. But I will be excited to get it once it finally arrives.
Yeah. I have like really high hopes for that one because, like, for example, right now there's a tapestry fever going on. So I was like, I really want to play Tapestry, but I'm like, Living Planet. I was waiting for it for so long, and it's Archipelago. Archipelago was in my top 10. If Living Planet is even better, then Living Planet might be. I'm hoping for it to be my top 3.
Okay, well,
something like that.
I hope it will not be disappointing, especially because I've ordered one as well. So,
yeah, true that. All right, so let's go back and away from this. What was that? The the infinite loop thing, and get back to talking about a new topic, which is not new, but I mean like the next topic, which is guess that game. And guess that game is kind of it is like a game, a game about guess that game. Yeah,
pretty much what it is.
Yeah. So we're gonna shoot some facts about the game to each other, and then we're gonna try to guess that game. That's the easiest way to describe it. So Kyle, you start first.
All right. So this game is an older game. That's probably not enough for you.
No clue. You can do another one. Yeah.
It is a game with a Roman theme.
Is it the Glory to Rome?
It is. There you go. That's your best one yet.
No. What other clues did you have, by the way?
That it has fairly childish artwork and comes in a lunchbox.
Oh, yeah. Though there's a black edition as well. But yeah.
Oh, I don't have that one. I have the old one. But
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Well, there you go.
That's that's a rare case when we can guess in just few facts. But let's go to my first one. So it has a map with lots of dots that you move to and move through.
Is it?
I should.
Yeah, I think we should keep going.
Yeah, it has tunnels and sewers, things as well.
Is
it the board?
Is it, what is that game? Scotland Yard?
No, but
okay.
You should think towards that a little bit. Yeah, it has guards.
Guards.
Yes.
No.
All right. So it has.
Oh, is it that Escape from Colditz game?
No. It has this kind of a Renaissance / medieval theme to it.
Renaissance medieval theme.
Yeah.
Oh, I know which one this is. Oh, is it?
What do you think about?
I'm thinking about that one with the creepy nun, but that's not going to be it.
No. It has criminals.
Criminals?
Yes. and crystals. It has criminals and crystals.
Criminals and crystals.
Yeah. The the the,
Is
the,
it?
the, fol- the folks out there should guess with Kyle as
Yeah.
well. So.
Well, Kyle's not going to get this one.
All right. So, but I'm gonna tell you it has thieves, and
Thieves.
it reminds me of like Assassin's Creed.
Thieves and dots and guards and a medieval theme.
And crystals. You collect crystals, and it's like Assassin's Creed type thing.
Yeah,
Like
I don't think I've played this one. So.
All right. So this is the Age of Thieves.
Oh.
You don't know this one?
Nope.
Oh, that's all right. So it's from Galacta. It's a really nice game. It has few flaws, but mostly I rated it like 8 out of 10. So, but it was really cool. I don't have it anymore right now, but I think I gave it away to someone else too because he really wanted to play this one. So I was like, yeah, he loved it so much. I was like, take it. But
Well, that was
this
very
is
nice
a
of you.
really nice game with that kind of a Assassin's Creed type theme, where you try to get into the palace and then get the crystals, whatever money, and then escape out of
Okay.
town with all those different tricks and whatever. All right, so
I have not played this game.
maybe it will have a chance. Maybe it will be in the library. I should show you because it's a really
Who
nice
knows?
game.
Who knows?
All right, so your next one.
My next one is a 2-player only game.
Is it from Cosmos series like Targi or something like that?
No, it's not.
No, I'm just shoot.
It is a game of asymmetric combat.
Oh, it's not the Asante. It's the battle line. No, not the
That's
battle.
very symmetric combat.
Um.
But no, it's not Battle Line.
Okay, so is it Thunder and Lightning?
No.
Oh, the older version
This
of
is
that.
a game with lots of interesting looking wooden pieces.
Lots. Oh, is it like the Shadows in Kyoto? The one
Nope.
that we played in the hotel.
Nope. This one involves one player taking the role of a large monster.
Catacombs.
No. The other player takes the role of a skulk of foxes.
What?
A skulk of foxes.
I don't know. Maybe I've never played it.
Oh, well, that was your hint. The game is called Skulk Hollow.
Oh, don't know about that one.
Oh, well, there we go. It was on my list of games that I was excited about this year, and it's arrived recently, and I've played it quite a few times, and it's a lot of fun. It's it's this little 2-player battle game, and it's fast and it's very interesting. You've got 4 different monsters and then one troop of foxes, which are always the same, but you can kind of customize their leader, and so they've got slightly different abilities. And you just go after each other and try and accomplish your objectives. But it's fast and it's fairly easy to get into.
Okay. But yeah,
So Skulk Hollow.
I think I heard about like I saw the box covers and all of that. I probably saw every game is possible that of the new games because I still look at them. But yeah, no nothing about this one. Anyway, let's go to to my last one. This game has an app. This is supporting. Yeah.
Is it Mansions of Madness?
No. It's a programming game. You know this one, I'm sure.
A programming game with an app. No, let's keep going.
I'm going to shoot you this one that will probably lead you towards the right guess. It uses the Hanabi mechanic. No, the cards facing away from you.
With an app?
Yeah, it has. It should have an app. Yeah. So it you are saving lives in this one. Hostages.
It's not hostage negotiator. Um,
No, no. And it has robots.
is it that bomb game? That bomb squad?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I had forgotten about that game.
Yeah, yeah. It
Okay,
has the app that it's like scenarios and the countdown thing,
okay.
and then yeah, it has some sound thing as well, sound mechanics. But it's a nice one. It's a real time game. My life would be like it's a real time game. So maybe you guess. I like this one. I like this one. It has attention. It has kind of a cool theme. We did. By the way, we did the Blender segment on Bomb Squad, and our idea was I don't maybe it wasn't the best idea, but I remember our idea was like so the Bomb Squad it's real time like you're saving hostages is like really tense thing as it was really tense because you're like trying to program a robot with your hands like Hanabi style thing and then like oh let's do the Blender segment but let's do it the way that it wasn't I think it was the Halloween theme and we're like the things that scare you and stress you and something like that, the kind of harsh themes. Like, let's do a Blender episode where we are extremely calm, where we show the game, but we show how peaceful and how zen this game is. The Bomb Squad, kind of, go reverse, and then yeah, and then yeah, whatever. It was a nice episode. It was a nice try, at least. Anyway, so let's go to the fourth topic of today. It's the what's on Kickstarter, what's on KS, and we're gonna talk about the games on Kickstarter. And Kyle, shoot your
Okay,
first.
so if we had done this last week, I would have had a lot of things to talk about. This week, I think I only have one active Kickstarter project, and that is the new Painted Bird Meeple set for Wingspan.
Yeah.
So this is exactly what
Oh,
it sounds. If you like Wingspan, there are these stupid little cubes in it, and you can buy a set of from Meeple Source. You can
those ones.
buy a set of painted little wooden birds that you can use in place of your action markers. I already have the set of painted wooden birds, and now that the European bird expansion is coming out, there's a new set of European birds that you can also use. This is something that is pointless, is not necessary.
How much does it
I
cost?
already have way too many of them, but I like them. It's kind of nice to say, okay, here, choose which bird you're going to use, and then that's I've thrown the cubes away or I put them somewhere else because I just don't need them anymore because you've got these nice little painted wooden birds to use.
So it's like, as you can see here, it's like bird TBA. Okay, common
Yeah, they're
kingfisher,
still
common
announcing
puffin,
some of the birds,
mute swan. Yeah, it's forty
and
dollars for a what's this the set of European birds.
yep.
It seems like
Now
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't need the full set. You only, I mean, if you want to use them, you really only need 5 different birds. But I like having a lot of different ones just for a little variety. Maybe I want to use a cardinal today, or maybe a blue jay. Who knows? I can use a swallow or an owl. There are lots of different choices. It just adds a little extra layer of fun to the game.
And here you got many more birds, and plus the giant starpling snowy owl, and then you
Yep,
have pieces of food. Sorry, food
which
wood.
I also have.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. It looks like for that kind of a game. I mean, like I looked at the Meeple source things and I was like, for most of the games, they look dull and kind of stupid. For me, at least, I don't really like most of their stuff. Only like few, maybe like resource stuff. The printed thing. But for this game, especially, I mean, like it kind of fits really, really well. I mean, like this set
Well,
of things. Yeah.
it certainly fits better than a little wooden cube. Although, I mean, you can certainly play without these, but I like them. So that's, I think, currently, oddly enough, the only Kickstarter I have active.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, like the was the Yokohama, something like that was on other, like, not Dead of Winter, something like that, but there were like lots of different wooden components from Meeple Source for
Oh, they have a million
games
things.
that, yeah, for games that don't
I
need
got
that.
a bunch of dinosaurs for Dinosaur Island as well, but those I got already, so they're
Mm.
not on Kickstarter.
But all right, so my Kickstarter game of choice is the Zorro dice game. So the thing about this, and I'm going to tell you up front. So I was contacted by Brian, and he offered me a review copy. So he wanted to have a review of the game before the Kickstarter, like a preview stuff thing, you know. But there were some issues with the shipping, and my copy just arrived recently, and like I couldn't, get the video out for this game for Kickstarter. I was like, oh, whatever, you can review it later as well. Happens. But I wanted to just give a kind of a shout out. Nobody paid me for that. Nothing like that. Nobody told me to do that. I'm just doing that of my own free will because as the copy arrived late, I couldn't do the review. Maybe I can just show you the game. I like the idea of the game. That's something I would like to have in my collection as something light. So this is the Zorro dice game. It's more like it's like Age of War type game, Yahtzee and push your luck. You're rolling dice and trying to. What was the ancient terrible things and so on? You're rolling your dice and trying to get the combinations of dice, to kind of conquer those different cards. But here, this one has like you defeat the scoundrels and you prepare for the villain, and you kind of like equipment things as well. So kind of a Age of War plus. You're not just rolling dice trying to get the combinations. You're also kind of upgrading yourself throughout the game. So it looks nice. I like the theme, and they have this new thing that they have now. Pull the Pin is the company's name. It was Overworld Games. You know them by Good Cop, Bad Cop. If you know the game, and the New Salem and so on. So they did that, and then they did now the new edition of New Salem, which is shipping right now, I think. And they did the new edition for Good Cop, Bad Cop with this pull the pin thing. And I have the Good Cop, Bad Cop version as well. He sent me. So this one is you just pull the pin, but the other thing, this green box is magnetic glass box, which is nice. Like it's really nice to open that. I was like worried about this one pin. I told him that, but if the pins break, and they can break, and he said they will see and maybe uh, see the feedback, and then maybe make it better, make it more quality. But yeah, this one sounds nice. 1 to 8 players, and there's the deluxe version, as you can see. Probably looks like the Meeple source Meeples, and the metal dice, and the cup holder here. So you can get
looks
this
interesting.
one. Yeah, the art is nice. I like the art. It's $15 for the base game and stretch goal. So yeah, it's 15. 23 if you want to get the expansions as well. And $32, which is still a good price if you want to get the deluxe things like sleeves and so on. So they already, like, my copy of the game doesn't have all the upgraded components. I have like there's no linear finish on the card and so on, no expansions. It's just a base game. So I have this kind of a $15 base thing, but it looked nice. So for 52, you can get those custom metal dice too with all the other things in. So it's still going on. 28 days. It's already funded. Small thing. It's a nice company. There's people working there. So just go and back it if you like how it sounds. That's the Zorro dice game.
All right.
So, and let's just stop this nuisance and go back to this one. So, and we are through all of our topics, the initial topics, and then we go to our last one, the most important of all, the topic of the day, which is top 10 Halloween games. How do you feel about that, Kyle?
Yep.
Feel
I
good?
like Halloween games.
You like
I feel
Halloween
great.
games. You feel great, yeah?
You're
All
gonna
right.
hate one of the items on my list, but that's okay.
But, oh, is it a hint, like hate the board game?
No, I don't. I
Oh,
don't like that game very much.
okay,
I
good,
wish I
good, good.
did.
Oh, you
I
have
wanted to like that game, but it just didn't work.
yeah, there were a few games that didn't work for me as well. But the thing with this one is that in this topic, what we said Halloween games, we're thinking about like horror games and so on. But as we wanted to kind of combine, so we're combining the monster games, we're combining like horror, spooky games all together into this kind of a big one list. So
Yeah, it's a harder list to put together because it's difficult to search by Halloween games. But I came up with about 20. So
I came up with like I didn't really I went through the my ratings and so on. So I was like, what games I like. I when I like found the initial 10 games, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna. I don't play that many horror monster games, really. That's the thing. So I
yeah,
don't have many, but yeah, I got 10, and not all of them are like horror themes and so on, but maybe a good choice for the Halloween. Anyway,
yeah. Well, we'll
so
see.
let's go to number 10. Kyle, your number 10.
All right, my number 10 is a game that I know you've played, and that is Betrayal at House on the Hill or Betrayal Legacy. It's the same thing.
Okay.
That's a fine game where you're sort of it's an old classic horror movie type game. You walk into a house, you walk around, something happens. Eventually, the scenario finally unfolds, and then you play through the scenario. So there's sort of a build up, and then the game starts, and you keep going. It's a very random game. The components have never been great, but you can have some very interesting stories with it. It's not a game I love, but for a Halloween game, it certainly fits the bill.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, we played Betrayal Legacy as well. Yeah, we
Yep,
played the
and it was
I
fun.
played
I
the
enjoyed it.
original. Yeah, yeah. I enjoyed it, but not completely. There were a few scenarios where I was like, whatever, I don't care.
Well,
That's
I didn't like the ending very much, but
the ending was
that's
oh bad, bad.
but that's okay. I had but as in terms of a Halloween game, you wouldn't necessarily play the legacy version, but you could play the regular one or just a scenario from the legacy version. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And it's a good Halloween experience.
Uh, with this one, I was like, sorry, I didn't. I'm gonna stop screening, sharing this thing, and I'm gonna do it the other way. So anyway, so with this one, I was thinking about putting that on the list. Not the betrayal, the initial betrayal, but the betrayal legacy. But I was
Yeah,
like, there were a few things I didn't really like. I like the experience, but it's hard for me to still like recommend this game. Kinda.
yeah.
I like to have the whole new edition with vamp rules and so on. So anyway, this is the betrayal number 10. My number 10 is a game which says in its name that it's a game fit for the Halloween, and the game's name is Halloween. Yeah, and so this is from Quinnet Games, and they had this 2017.
Oh, I
This
remember
one is
seeing that one. Yeah,
it's a Euro game. Yeah, it's a Euro game, and it has really cool action selection mechanic and so on. It's the Halloween theme, so it kind of fits. That's why I put it as number 10 because it was like, oh, really cool. I want to, kind of add it because of the theme, because of the name as well. So just a shout out that there's the game Halloween, but it's still a
okay.
nice game. It's like basically you are trying to get, of course, the most points, and you have those different objectives and those like the different actions and so on you can do. And there's your boards, your personal board, where you are upgrading the different like you can do different actions, and you're upgrading those lines or rows of actions in order to kind of upgrade your ghost as well. So there's the blue ghost is the basic ghost, and the red ghost gives you more points, as you can see, like 2, 4, 6, 8, or 10 points initially. And you're kind of combining those ghosts into new ghosts and so on. It's total resource management thing. It's not heavy, but it's like mid-weight, maybe a little bit plus. I like this one. So Halloween, a nice spooky theme, spooky components, really dark, and a solid Euro game. Yeah, Halloween. So
perfect.
number 9. Let's go to number 9. Your number 9?
All right, my number 9 is a game that I enjoy this game a lot. I just wish I played it more because every time I want to play it, I have to relearn the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Fury of Dracula.
Oh yeah,
it's an older classic one. Hidden movement. You've got Dracula moving around. The rules, in my estimation, and the rules are maybe a little bit more complicated than they need to be for some of the pieces, but I do enjoy the game. It's a good one that I usually only get played about Halloween, so once a year or less often. And it's also probably best as a 2-player game or a 3-player game. I don't know. Yeah, the more people you add, well, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'd work with 5. But you've always got 4 investigators and 1 Dracula, and
yeah.
you're moving around Europe trying to do various things, trying to either kill Dracula or for Dracula to advance his agenda. The combat's a little wonky. I won't lie. It's improved between the second and the third editions, but there are some problems with the game. But I do enjoy it for the theme, and for a Halloween game, it's an easy sell.
Yeah. I'm. I like this one. I like my experience. But yeah, I would play maybe with 3 players because I saw how, like in the newer edition at least, I didn't play the newest edition, whatever it is, Whiskey's edition, but
That's the
I
same,
liked
though. That's just
that I could,
repurposed.
yeah, I could do more actions. I like to have 2 heroes in this one. Usually, I like to have just 1 hero. I don't want to split, between many heroes. But in this one, I like to do more. I have different options, different heroes, and so on. So that was nice. That works with 3, in my opinion. Yeah, nice choice. Not on my list because I just haven't played enough. So yeah. So my number 9 is a game which you could argue this is a Halloween type game, but it reminds me of a certain movie and a theme. This game reminds me of Gremlins, and I'm talking about Dungeon Pets.
Well, Gremlins is a Christmas movie, but that's all right.
It is kind of Christmas movie, but Gremlins is also like spooky thing. It's for me at least. I don't remember when I saw Gremlins. It was a very long time ago. But Dungeon Pets, and though I kind of feel like this is monsters, and on a Halloween theme, you're not Halloween. You don't really want to play only like spooky games. Sometimes you want to play just weird theme games, and this one kind of has this kind of a monstrous theme, which is Halloween theme as well, in my opinion at least. You can argue, of course, but in my opinion,
it's fine. I mean, it works. Trust me, there's going to be a little bit more, a more contentious one on my list coming up.
Oh, I see. All right, we're gonna bash you. But I mean, like, this game is scary because you have to feed, you have to clean the poop or something like that. It's scary. It's scary. It's spooky, and the animals or whatever the animals that are not the pets that are not bought are they disappear, and like the meat arrives at the market.
Yep.
But they say nobody says that. It's spooky. What happens? The pets disappear. The meat appears. I don't know. There's some kind of a connection between that. But anyway, in Dungeon Pets, it's a Euro game. It's a straightforward Euro game full of chvatil. I'm sorry. So in this one, you're buying pets. You're managing those pets. You're trying to sell them to customers. Like I don't know how to describe this game. But yeah, you're sending your imps and you're
Yep.
managing different resources, things, and rondel mechanic a little bit, things, and so on. So I like that
Yeah,
one.
I've got to play this one again. It's been a while.
I don't even know how to describe it right now anymore. I have to play it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have your own board. You have those different magical cages, and you are trying to evolve your pets and then sell them to the customers who wants to get their pets, like home pets and so on. So yeah, that's dungeon pets, and these are all monster pets. So really cool, cute. Number 8. Let's go to number 8.
Number 8. All right. So Halloween is a time in the U.S. at least in my life, where you watch lots of old classic monster movies. Not the new scary ones, just sort of the old campy, cheesy ones. And so the game that I think of is Campy Creatures.
Yeah.
Campy Creatures is, it's not a very thematic game. You've just sort of got a deck of cards, and you're trying to bid and get the various, you're hunting people, and there's this, different people, and you'll have different monster powers and priorities. The artwork in this game is fantastic.
Yeah,
I've got
looks
some
nice.
of them up in my house, and it's really nice, nostalgic art for these old movies that many people watched growing up. There's even a Blob, just like the Blob who ate everything, and it's a fun little game. It's light. It doesn't really pretend to be anything more than it is, but it looks fun, and it brings back a lot of nostalgia for some of those older movies.
Nice. I'll
And I
play
think
this
that
one.
fits for Halloween.
Surely. Yeah, can be creatures, monsters, things. So yeah, totally. All right. My number 8 is a game that it's not. I don't feel like it's scary, but it's kind of like a horror theme, and for me at least, it kind of a good game in a bigger crowd, and that's Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space.
Yeah, I knew this would be on your list.
Uh, I just feel like I want to recommend this game because it doesn't have that many rules and accessible, and kind of creates tension between players and the players themselves to the game, which is nice. So
It's almost like Fury of Dracula if you stripped out a lot of the rules of that game.
yeah.
Has a similar feel with a lot less overhead.
So this is not there's a newer box, but basically the thing is that it's the older version. But basically you have this kind of a map, and the aliens start from one space and the humans start from another space. Nobody knows whoever is, who is aliens, who is human, and aliens try to eat humans, and humans trying to escape to those spots, number 1, 2, 3, 4. And this kind of you track your movements, and then you draw a card, and sometimes you do noise, sometimes you do not, sometimes you get equipment so you can save yourself, and you have your roles as well, which is really cool. You have your roles, like humans have different captain, medic, and so on. They have their own abilities, and if you want to reveal yourself, like you do ability and you can reveal yourself and so on. So that's a cool special ability. So, and if you're eaten by the aliens, you become an alien as well, so it's really hard to escape. And I like for everyone to escape, but sometimes I'm like, oh, thank God. I know, for example, I know that I'm a human. There's another player who is human as well. I kind of figured this one out. So kind of deduction thing going on here. I was like, oh, I'm really glad they are chasing him and not me.
Yeah.
So him or her. So nice game. Escape from the aliens in outer space. A spooky horror theme about the aliens. And creates tension as well.
It's a good Halloween game.
So number 7.
All right, I said one might be a little contentious.
Yeah.
My number 7 is Watergate. Now, you may be saying, what does that have to do with Halloween? Well, Watergate was the scandal that led to the resignation of President Richard Nixon, which led to Gerald Ford becoming president. And one of the early features of Gerald Ford's campaign was an event called the Halloween Massacre.
Okay.
Which was when he reshuffled all of his cabinet and put new people in office.
That's a nice stretch over there, Kyle.
Oh yeah, I told you it'd be a stretch, but
a big one.
So Watergate, by its connection to allowing the Halloween Massacre, is an interesting little game. The first time I played it, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But the second time I played it, I really did. After I sort of figured out how it was working. People have said it's almost like a Twilight Struggle game, and I can see sort of some of that, but it feels different. It's a little bit more in your face than than that game. That game's more subtle. But it's this nice back and forth with two different players having different sides. One person being Richard Nixon, who just wants to finish his presidency, and the other side being a wicked journalist who just can't leave stuff alone.
Okay.
So it is a bit of a stretch for Halloween. However, because of that stretch, I'm going to play it every Halloween.
Yeah. I haven't played this one. I have nothing to say about this one. But that is a stretch, yes. But still, if you feel like this is the game, like
you
game
said
for...
Halloween games, you gave me that in. But no, I will not be putting Summoner Wars on the list. Don't worry.
I mean, like if you have to play Nixon, yeah, it's a Halloween, it's horror. Okay, so I'm kidding. Anyway, yeah, that's a choice. That's a choice. Yeah. Let the others comment on that. Not me. Anyway, let's go to my number 7. My number 7 is not about presidents and not with the art of Clement Franz, which I hate. It has the nice art and it has the zombies and it's Hit Zero.
Yeah, you do like that game.
Yeah, I do like that game. I like the simplicity and push your luck of that game. So you are kind of a there's a boy who kind of makes a game on the road. They're living in the post-apocalyptic world where the zombies are present and so on. So you go through this one. You go through different like kind of locations and trying to kind of roll dice and get the resources. And there's the zombies, and you're trying to kind of get rid of the zombies and kill them and get less of your group killed. If you survive the journey till the end, at least with at least your basic one survivor, then you will count points. But you can be eliminated as well from this game. But usually it happens near the end, so nobody has a kind of a green face there because everybody's rooting for somebody. This is the game where you there's that the tension with that kind of a last die roll. So the last die roll must be perfect, otherwise I'm going to be killed and so on. So this creates this kind of a tension. You feel like you are surrounded by the zombies and so on. It's a nice game, a little bit on the family side. The problem, it isn't supported. It wasn't received as positively as it could have been. Maybe a few caveats that you could fix in this one. But I would have loved to have the expansion for that one. More content, more things going on, and so on. Because this game had so much potential. I don't know why they didn't go with that game, but it's Space Cowboys, so it's a really good game.
I like the game. I don't love it though, but I like it. I've enjoyed it when I played it.
So yeah. So your number 6.
My number 6 is we're out of stretch zone, and we're into Fearsome Floors.
Yeah, I played that one.
Fearsome Floors was one of the first of the game, one of my earlier games that I played. In fact, I remember playing it. I learned about it on Brettspielwelt, which was this online gaming platform back in the day. And you've got a group of people, and you're trying to get them out of a dungeon. And there's a monster that is running through the dungeon, and it moves in specific patterns, and it always turns whenever it can see somebody. So you're trying to move through there in a way that you'll get your own people out, and also where you can sort of lure the monster to move toward other people. Yeah. And also hiding behind pillars and sliding across pools of blood. And there's lots of nice references in the characters. There's sort of a Scooby-Doo type gang and an Addams Family type gang, and it's just a lot of fun. It's not a complex game by any means. It's light, but it gives you a nice horror-y game with a sort of a good Halloween type theme without a lot of rules overhead.
Yeah, I like this one.
And also, it's fun. It's there are laugh out loud moments when the monster shows up somewhere completely unexpected, just because of the way that it moves and the difficulty of anticipating it. So it's not one where you put a whole lot of thought into it. It's more of a run through, hide and have fun type of a game.
Yeah. I was thinking about getting this one at some point, like back into my I never had it in my collection, but I played it, and I was thinking lately about this one that I would like to get this one. So because it's different one, it has really cool movement and things, and it's light. It's not the best game, but it kind of fits maybe my group of people. So yeah, that's that. So my we're on number 6. Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My number 6
Yep.
is Escape the Curse of the Temple, and I didn't put this one in. So Escape the Curse of the Temple. And this one we did the, by the way, we did the episode in Blender as well with this one. You kind of say it's more like an adventure, but it creates this kind of a scary tension towards, because it's a real-time game. And you feel like you don't have enough time and you'll be stuck in the temple, and it's spooky, you know. So I feel like this one fits the Halloween category, with to play with the family, play with kids and so on. You have those different curses where you sometimes you cannot talk and so on. You have to roll dice only with one hand, but you're basically rolling the dice, trying to match the dice and get into other rooms and discover and then activate those crystals so you can find the exit and get out of the exit, and you only have 10 minutes. And
It's a fun game. I like it.
Yeah, I think that the tension games with great tension are nice games for the Halloween thing.
Sure.
Kind of. So it has kind of a dark theme, you know, curses and things. So that's Escape the Curse of the Temple, my number 6.
Yeah, I have nothing negative to say about it. So
good. Good. So good. Let's go to number 5.
All right, my number 5 is not a stretch. Don't worry. It is a very long game. It is a new one. It is Abomination: The Heir of Frankenstein from Plaid Hat Games. Just came out. It is a game where you are one of a group of scientists and you're building a bride for the Frankenstein monster.
Oh, I heard
it's
about
done
this
in
one.
a very nice, realistic art style. You've got some very interesting looking pieces, you know, with body parts that you're trying to complete and build a monster. It's a nice worker placement game. It's a bit too long, unfortunately, and it devours your table. But it's a lot of fun. It's well designed. You're collecting body parts through various actions, such as, you know, going to the morgue, digging up graves from the cemetery, or if you need really fresh ones, you can go and find somebody who's been executed, or just go and kill somebody yourself. And you're managing different tracks, your humanity, your expertise, your reputation for different bonuses. And then you're also, you know, when you get the body parts, you put them in a storage bin, and then they'll gradually decay over time, and eventually you won't be able to use them at all. And the less valuable body parts are worth fewer points. It's a very, you know, it's very much a Euro game, but it's got a lot of nice thematic elements in it. A little bit of randomness too when you're trying to bring the monster to life, but that just is something you have to plan for. And, you know, as a 2-player game, it's a lot of fun. If you add a 3rd player, or, you know, even a 4th player, it would be much too long, and I just don't know that a table exists in the world that could hold it. But it's a good Halloween game for serious people.
Yeah, it looks a lot, but the theme is really cool. I heard about this one. It's kind of a little bit like gross, you know, all the body parts and things. It's really realistic thing, kind of realistic thing. So fancy realistic.
Well, I mean, the body parts are done in a realistic style. So, you know, you've got muscles and bones and skin. But, you know, the game itself, the theme is there, definitely. But really, the things you're collecting, the organs and the bones, are just cubes.
Yeah.
So it's not that gross. But I can understand that the artwork isn't for everybody. And I think the idea that you can just go and kill somebody and get fresh body parts is quite delightful.
Like a bloody in plus the Frankenstein.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely much heavier than the Bloody Inn.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I would like to.
It's a good game, but it's not for everybody, and you've got to make sure you. I mean, I don't know how long the box says it takes, but you need to add an extra hour.
I see. All right. So yeah,
So
nice. Yeah, maybe I'll try it someday. Maybe on a cruise. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
that
Anyway,
would be great. They might have a table.
let's go to number. Sorry, no,
Your
my
number
number
5.
five. Yeah, so my number 5. Right, my number 5. I think you probably have guessed that I will have this game on my list, and that's Mysterium.
No.
No, I mean, like, this is Ghost Mansion, and this is family type game totally, and I really like this game because it kind of creates not a spooky feel, but that's the theme: who murdered who, like a deduction through the Dixit stuff things, and cards, and it just works. It's not scary, but it just fits the Halloween theme really well, like a family
Yeah,
type, nice,
I agree.
beautiful Halloween theme. And I like this one. I like the deduction element. I like that there's a ghost who doesn't go, can only talk through those Dixit type, dreamy cards, and just works really well. That's Mysterium.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
thought about putting it's on my short list. I did not make my top 10. Although I think I really enjoy it. I remember when it came out, I played a ton of that game. I mean, everybody was playing it for a while.
Yeah.
And
That's my go-to game. Basically.
mhm. And there's the newer version called Obscurio. It's not the same game, but it's a very similar game, which is a similar theme, which I got at Gen Con, but I still haven't tried. So
Okay. So all right. So let's go to number 4. Your number 4?
all right, my number 4 I've already talked about today, and that is the Arkham Horror living card game.
Yep.
It's I mean,
Wait,
it's a
wait,
great
wait, wait.
solo experience.
Arkham Horror living card game. Your number 4.
Yes,
Same.
that's all right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I guess you
Crossover.
won't disagree with me.
Now on this one, it's the same number as well, so it's also my number 4. So
Yeah, it's a great way to play through a story.
yeah.
I usually wait and get the whole campaigns before I play them because I don't want to wait between scenarios. So right now I've played everything that's out, and then I'm waiting until the Dream Eaters campaign kind of gets a few more episodes, and then I'll start playing that one. I also like the standalone scenarios. I already talked about the Blob who ate everything. I think Murder at the Excelsior Hotel is the best of all the scenarios, probably the most replayable as well. You're going through a hotel and there's a murder, but there's different ways that the culprit can be revealed. There's just a lot of different things that are done with the game, and it tells a lot of story. I don't love the deck construction piece. That's the only thing I don't. I mean, and I know some people really live for that, but the whole idea of having to put a deck together, that's a little
Yeah.
frustrating for me. But there are resources online, so I usually just use one of those,
Yeah.
some deck that somebody's built and posted online, and then I play with that. And I have a great time just working through the story.
Yes. The same. I don't care about the deck building. I just I mean, like, I went with the Devil one, and if like there's some points given that you can buy a new card.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
do
nice to build a
that.
new
That's
card.
fun.
Yeah, it's just buy a new card and that's it. I'm not really building stuff up.
Yeah, but it's the initial decks, the construction that's frustrating for me.
Yeah,
Just because
yeah,
I don't really play that kind of game where you construct the decks very often. And
yeah.
so I don't know. Other than, Summoner Wars, I knew I'd get it in somehow, where I'll do a slight little customization for the deck, but it's fairly restricted. This game is very open-ended. You've got pick 30 cards from a pool of hundreds.
Yeah.
But I have a great time playing it.
Yeah, agree. All right, let's go to number 3.
Right,
Your number 3? Yeah.
Number 3, you've already mentioned, even though it wasn't on your list, and that is a game that I love, and that is the Bloody Inn.
Yeah.
Bloody Inn is based on an old French movie, and which I haven't ever seen, but even the artwork is based on that movie. And you're an innkeeper, and you're killing people and burying them in your backyard so that you can get money. It's a nice gruesome theme, but it's done in an interesting way. It's kind of lighthearted. It's a delightful little game. It doesn't take very long. and with the expansion, it adds a lot of weird quirkiness to it as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So I like it with the expansion. Some of the pieces more than others, but it's just interesting to manage the business of murder because you'll murder somebody and then there's a police officer coming, but you don't have enough actions to bury the body, so you'll kill the police officer, and now you have two bodies, and then another one shows up, and so you sort of end up with this problem of having to get rid of too many bodies. It almost feels like a comedy. It's an interesting little game that I quite enjoy and have played lots of times.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's small, so you can take it with you. I know
That's
you
cool.
don't like it, so
Yeah. I mean, like the theme is a bit weird, but I like the theme. I like the idea. Uh, but I just didn't like the game that much. I just it just didn't click with me. I don't know. I don't remember anymore why. But yeah, it just didn't work for me for whatever reason. So,
well, then I guess it's not on your list.
no, it's not. But it's a nice choice. Anyway, so my number 3 is a game about zombies, and you know that it should be on my list because I still like the game, and that's Dead of Winter.
Yeah.
So Dead of Winter is still, though it's kind of showing its age. I mean, like there are games that kind of I want somebody to do something with the system a little bit. I'm not talking about Gen 7. I want to have something similar to Dead of Winter, but kind of a Dead of Winter plus Dead of Winter next edition, something like that.
Yeah.
To revise every possible caveat with the game. But it's still a great game. I love it still. I mean, like in this game, you have your secret objectives, and so everybody kind of feels like a traitor at some point. But I like how it's scary to roll that die, to roll that red die, but it's also really cool to go out and search through those decks and trying to get the stuff you need. And sometimes you lie about what stuff did you get or something like that, and you use those dice, to the actions. And yeah, there's different, like it's not like you only have one hero, and if you die, you die. You have more than one, like you have a group of people that you control, which is nice because you can do various stuff. You can kind of go back and forth with your group of people, and you're trying to work together as well to go through the zombie apocalypse. And the thing is that the zombies are just a small nuisance, like small flies, stuff like that. You just spend the die and kill them. It's not like you have to fight them and roll the dice separately, something like that. You just kill them, and if you kill them with bare hands, then you can get bitten and so on. So I like that. It's a huge management game, in my opinion. Lots of management.
It is a fine game. I wish I got to play. The problem is I have a whole new expansion that I've only played once. I wish I got to play it more, but then again, it's not for everybody anymore. And it's the player count's a little restrictive. You kind of are stuck with 3 to 5. You can't really play it with 2.
No, you cannot. I mean, like you only even playing with 3 players. You could play with 4 or 5. I wouldn't play with 3 players. At least the base game.
Well, with 3 it's okay, but you don't get but with I don't know. I quite enjoy the game. I certainly agree with it. I certainly thought about it.
We should play it on the cruise again.
We
I
should.
haven't played it for a long time. Yeah, let's play it. Anyway, let's go to number 2. Your number 2?
My number 2 is a game I have been playing a lot out of since going to Arkham Knights, and that is Mansions of Madness.
Yeah, Mansions of Madness.
It's a fine game. It's so all those games, Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror,
second edition,
and Mansions of Madness. Of course, the first edition is not really available anymore, and you can't. It had a lot of problems in that you could mess it up through setup, or it required very exactness in setting up the game. The new one is nice. It plays with an app. You just sort of start, you pick a scenario, it tells you the story, and you kind of play as you go, and you don't even know what you're trying to do at the beginning of the game. Eventually, the game will tell you if you win or lose. Well, you'll know if you lose, but it'll tell you if you win. And you're just trying to figure out what's going on. There's a scenario we played the other day where there was a murder mystery, and you had to find the murderer. and then the murderer, of course, turned into a monster and you had to fight it. But there's scenarios where you're going through a house and figuring out different things, trying to find treasures. We played one the other night where we were trying to find pieces for some sort of a potion that would stop the invading monsters. There's the new expansion, which takes place in the jungle or in an Aztec temple, where you're going through the temple and trying to explore things and stop a ritual or something. Always, there's lots of different scenarios. The expansions fold in fairly nicely. If you have the old stuff like I do from the first edition, you can use it. There was a simple upgrade pack that was pretty easy to mix in. It tells a nice story. And as a Halloween game, it's nice because unlike some of the other games, you don't really have to teach very much. You can literally just start playing, explain a couple, the 5 basic actions, and say, what do you want to do? Because lots of the story and rules kind of come up naturally. And the app does a good job at reminding you, okay, this monster is moving here and attacking, or this monster is doing this. And there are puzzles in it, and that's the frustrating part for me, because I hate sliding puzzles. I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm terrible at them. And so, if you are bad at those, there'll come points where you'll have some difficulties in the game. But fortunately, somebody else in your group might be good at them. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a nice, very immersive, story-driven campaign little game. Not campaign, but play through the story, see what happens. And if you play through the story a second time, the app generates it differently. I mean, the overall plot might be the same, but different rooms will appear, different monsters, different items. So it's it's working with the tools you're given, and there's a lot of content for it. So it's a good investment and a great Halloween experience.
Yeah, I've played this one, so all the comments yours. I don't know what to say about this one. So,
in fact, if I showed you the table, you'd see that it's strewn all about here because we were playing it last night.
yeah. All right, so let's go to my number 2. My number 2 is a game which has several scenarios as well, but I'm going to talk about the first one. I'm talking about Time Stories. Time Stories. The first scenario is Time Stories itself. It has those different modules and that you go through. But the base scenario in the box, that was creepy. It's like asylum thing, and you're going through the asylum trying to understand what happened, and it has a lot of horror elements in it. Horror, mysterious, spooky elements. So that's why I would say, look at that. That's really weird. Like a girl who is doing cannibalism, something like that, So yeah, but Time Stories, kind of an RPG-like board game where you go through those different panoramic pictures, trying to understand what happens. You pull those, and then you're trying to cooperate to understand the puzzle and the solution to that. You go through different locations and just exploring the story. And I really like Time Stories as it is. I mean, like, there are some scenarios which are not that good, and it has the kind of repetitive thing about the runs and things. We play it in one go, and that's kind of where I feel like it's really hard to invest like 7 hours, 5 to 7 hours into that one go. Kind of,
yeah,
it's tiring, It's you're doing runs again and again and again and again and again, trying to get more information. That's where the system should be reworked, kind of. So more like a choose your own adventure, that you die, but you can get back to a certain spot, whatever.
Yeah. I remember I really liked it the first 3 scenarios.
Yeah, the first one is amazing.
The first one, then the second one was that zombie scenario,
Yep.
and then the third one was the fantasy one. I loved all 3 of those, and then I put it away for a while and never really went back. And some of the later scenarios just didn't seem interesting to me, or I had new people to play with and they weren't interested in learning the game. And you're right, the sort of repetitive, okay, I've got to do the first 10 steps each and every time I start over. I mean, I know I've got to go here, I've got to go here, I've got to go here. Okay, let's check that box and move on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that part gets a little bit tiring, I guess.
The first time it was kind of intriguing because, like, oh, now we have a little bit of information. We're not gonna go to the like. There were some kind of a traps set in
Yep.
this game in the first scenario, where you could go somewhere and you would fail because, like, if you would think like, because I want to explore everything in these kinds of games. I want to know what happens everywhere. But if you would think logically, for example, Asylum, and there are a lot of psychologically, you know, ill people and in the asylum and so on. So you shouldn't trust everyone. But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna trust this guy, this guy, this guy, and that was thematic. That was cool,
Yeah,
and
I agree.
eventually become a nuisance. It became a nuisance. So, but the
Right.
first scenario is a horror scenario, definitely.
That's true.
Time stories.
I
So
agree.
let's go to number one.
All right,
The
my
top
number
one Halloween
one.
game. Yeah.
My number one is a fairly new game, again to an homage to old classic monster movies, and that is Horrified.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Horrified is a game that was pretty much meant for me because I grew up loving these old movies. Even when you open the box, it has like the back of the board, and written on the back of the board is the prologue from the movie Frankenstein, and it's you're going through it. It's almost like the movie Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein made into a board game,
Mm-hmm.
and you've got several monsters and hope. I mean, I find the game too easy unless you play with 3 or 4 different monsters. With two, it's much too easy. But for for a newer gamer or a family, it might be a good way to start. But the monsters all play differently. You've got to fight them in different ways. It's very simple. You just take your actions. You're trying to save people and accomplish certain goals. But it's a nice way to incorporate these older movies from the 19, I don't know, 50s, 40s. I don't remember when they all came out, but those old classic monster movies. I wish it had about 3 to 4 more monsters in it, just so you could have a little bit more variety. But even as it is, I quite enjoy it. It's also fairly widely available, at least here. I think you can get it at Target.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great game for Halloween for just about any level of player.
Let's see. Yeah. I haven't played this one. Kind of know nothing. I've heard about this one, but I kind of know nothing about this one. So maybe I should try this one.
You
Yeah.
probably would like it.
I see. Why not? All
It's a
right.
game that pretty much everybody likes. I mean, I don't know if you'll love it, but I think it works really well for a Halloween night party.
Good. All right. So horrified. Number one. All right. Let's go to my final game. My number one is a game which has kind of a science fiction theme, and you could argue
Double feature,
what?
science fiction double feature.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It has a horror theme as well. So I'm talking about Nemesis.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about Nemesis because, for me at least, Nemesis. You look at the cover. The cover is it's creepy. Look at Nemesis. It's a horror cover, and Nemesis is kind of science fiction, and you have those aliens and things. The ship is a kind of a like half abandoned ship, and you explore the ship. I don't know if it seems like a prototype form here, but anyway, you get the idea, and you roam through the ship and trying to, you know, achieve your. There's also that, like that's where it reminds me of Dead of Winter, where you have your own objectives as well. That's where Nemesis
Hmm.
kind of replaces Dead of Winter for me. Like you have your own objectives, but you have to work cooperatively. But you can also play a fully cooperative game, which with Dead of Winter it didn't work. With this one, it works. I mean, like with this one, it's a better cooperative game, pure cooperative game. But yeah, you have your own people and you're roaming around. You're like having a lot of noise, and then the aliens come, and then you fight them, and there's a fire and things, and you discover different rooms, and you have to like put, depending on the objective, you need to like put a course on one planet, or destroy the ship, or get to the escape pods and whatever, repair the engines, and the ship is burning or is not functioning, and yeah, lots of things going on. But in this one, I really like. Sorry, it's horrified. In this one, I really like the exploration. I like how you like, oh, please, 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 roll a die for the noise check, and you're like, I really hope that the alien won't come, because it's gonna be a bad thing. So because I don't want to die and so on. So you have your own equipment. I just got the expansion, the stretch goals and the expansion, and the expansion has those meta like morphs, something like the aliens things, but by the way, the expansion alien things, I don't some morphs, some kind of morphs,
Xenomorphs,
and like kind of yeah. The expansion is Aftermath, and has more
I haven't
characters.
played the game, so I don't know.
Oh, it has more characters, things, but the new aliens, which are not like the classical aliens, the other ones, they kind of create illusions, and they are so spooky. I mean, like they look spooky. They look like alien spiders, something like that.
Okay.
And I hate spiders, so
Well,
it kind of works for me as a spooky thing. So yeah, I this game created stories. This game works amazingly. I really like this game. This game is maybe going to be on my top 10. Who knows? We'll see.
Well,
I'm
I'll
not sure
have to try
about
it
that
someday.
Yeah, it has a lot of rules. It's hard sometimes.
That's what I've heard.
But you kind of when you forget about that, and you kind of like, let's do something like that. Like small rules. You're not going into all the details about all the rules. You're like, okay, we're gonna do like that, and then I'm gonna go to the forums and see how it's gonna be played. But it's logical as well. It just has a lot of rules, but it creates great stories, and you eventually don't care about the rules because it has great stories. Just love this game, Nemesis.
Well, I do want to try it someday.
I would bring it, though. I think
No.
I think they will have it in the library. I mean, like this is a
Probably,
heavy
because-
one. This is a bigger box.
Yeah, that's a big box with lots of things, so I wouldn't bring it with. Doesn't travel well.
Yeah. Plus the because they have the insert, and if I will throw the insert away from the base box, I can fit everything in one box, in those like plastic bags and so on. But
Sure.
I mean, I have the expansion box with the insert itself as well, so I can keep them in separate boxes. So yeah,
I understand.
So this is our top 10. This is the infinity thing. Okay, this is our top 10 Halloween games, and here we go. That's the
all right
ending of the episode number 12. Is it? Yeah, it's 12. Yeah, it's been a longer side. We're gonna try to do it shorter and try to maybe redo some things. We're gonna test stuff.
We'll
maybe
figure it out.
do some new topics, new things, new segments. Yeah, I'm gonna think about that and come back to you earlier than last time, like 3 months since last
Hopefully.
episode. Yeah. This I think, I don't know how the other feel, but this streaming platform works, I think.
Yeah.
In this
We've had
situation,
some issues, but I think it works today. And I think
that's the beginning issues. Yeah, it was more like my hardware issues. So there's something gone wrong. So yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you another time. And
all right. Well, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And by the way,
Halloween
maybe
is a Grinch night.
Yeah. Maybe next time we should do a Christmas topic, or maybe
we might be a bit early for Christmas.
Or maybe that would be the case for the top 10s of all time. Who knows?
Well, we will see.
That's something really
I do
spooky.
still owe a top 100 list. I just need to make the videos.
Yeah. All right. But anyway.
Okay.
Thank you. See you again in the next episode of Würfel.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.